Sometimes in life, you reach a point where the weight on your chest feels heavier than the breath inside your lungs. You wake up tired not because you didn't sleep, but because your soul is exhausted. You smile at people, you go to work, you take care of responsibilities, but deep down you whisper, "God, I'm tired." And I want you to know, He hears that whisper, even the one you never say out loud. God sees you when nobody else does. He sees you holding it together when everything inside you is falling apart. He sees you showing up for others, even when you don't have anything left to give. He sees the silent tears, the battles you fight alone, the nights you lay in bed wondering how much longer you can keep going. Just because God is silent doesn't mean He's absent. Just because you don't feel Him doesn't mean He's forgotten you. Sometimes God works the most in the moments when He says the least, and I know that's hard to accept because we want answers, we want signs, we want God to step in and fix it right now, but sometimes God doesn't remove the storm, He sits with you in it. He doesn't always calm the waves, but He gives you the strength to stand in the boat, and you might be tired, but tired doesn't mean abandoned. Tired doesn't mean God walked away. I remember a time when I questioned why pain existed at all if God really loved us. I asked, why allow this? Why me? Why now? And in that moment, God didn't give me an explanation. He gave me His presence. And that was enough to keep going. See, what we don't understand is that God doesn't waste pain. He uses it, He shapes it, He molds it into purpose. The things that break you are often the same things that build you. Many of us don't realize that strength isn't built in comfort, it's built in struggle, and faith isn't proven when everything is going right. It's proven in silence, in darkness, when your heart is tired and your knees hit the floor. You may think no one notices your effort, you may feel unseen in your sacrifice, but God sees every time you chose faith over fear, every time you kept walking when you wanted to stop, every time you held your tongue when anger wanted to speak. Every time you pushed through a door you didn't have the strength to open. You're not overlooked, you're not invisible, you're not forgotten. God has watched every step you've taken in that valley. And maybe right now you're praying, God, I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of fighting battles I never asked for. I'm tired of pretending I'm okay. But listen, your tired prayers are still powerful prayers. God hears them just the same. He's not looking for perfect words. He's looking for an honest heart. Sometimes the most powerful prayer is just, God, help me make it through today. And that's enough. Because His strength is made perfect in your weakness. So if all you can do today is breathe, keep breathing. If all you can do is stand, stand. If all you can do is cry, cry. But don't quit. You're closer than you think. God hasn't taken His eyes off you. He knows you're tired. He knows the weight. But He also knows what's coming on the other side of this. And if you don't give up, you'll see why He didn't let you keep going. You know, people think being tired means you're weak. They think exhaustion is a sign you don't have what it takes. But being tired, being worn out, being mentally and emotionally drained, that doesn't mean you're defeated. It means you've been fighting. It means you've been showing up when it would have been easier to quit. If you're tired, that's not failure. That's evidence that you're still on the battlefield. That's a sign that life hit you and you stayed standing. We live in a world where everyone wants easy. They want comfort, applause, recognition, and results without resistance. But the truth is, purpose doesn't grow in comfort. Purpose is revealed in the fight. It's built in the moments when your body is tired, your spirit is heavy, and your mind is telling you, just walk away. But something deeper inside says, not yet. There's still something left in me. That inner voice, that's courage. That's faith. That's God whispering, keep going. I know you're tired, but I didn't bring you this far to leave you. Pain is not punishment. Being tired is not a sign that God has forgotten you. It's proof that you're moving. It's proof that you're pushing towards something bigger than yourself. You can't pray for strength and then expect not to face anything that requires it. You can't ask for growth and expect comfort to be your teacher. Growth comes when you feel like you have nothing left, but you still dig into the deepest part of your soul and choose to rise anyway. When I got hurt, people thought that was the end of my story. They saw the injury, the setback, the broken dream. What they didn't see was what God was doing inside of me. They didn't see the nights I cried, asking why, and still got up the next morning with resolve. They didn't see the moments when I couldn't move my arm, but I could still move my heart. They didn't see that being tired wasn't the end. Being tired was the beginning of something new. Because sometimes God lets you get to the end of yourself so you can finally see that your strength was never meant to carry you alone. So if you're tired today, I want you to understand this. You're not out of the fight. You're not empty. You're not forgotten. You're just in the middle of your process, and the process is painful. It stretches you, humbles you, tests you in ways you never expected. But it's also the process that prepares you. Don't mistake tiredness for defeat. You've been fighting battles most people don't even know about. You've been showing up for others while you bleed internally. You've been surviving storms silently. That's not weakness, that's warrior work. And maybe right now your heart's saying, I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of being the one who always holds everything together. I get it. But hear me. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is admit that you're tired and still choose to keep going. Not because it's easy, but because quitting is not in your spirit. You're built different. You're designed to endure. You're crafted for purpose. Every scar, every tear, every late night prayer, it all means something. You're not just tired, you're being transformed. So don't let exhaustion convince you the journey is over. You're tired because you've been carrying something heavy, but you're still here because God is carrying you. Keep going. Sometimes life hits you so hard that it feels like everything you dreamed of just crumbled right in front of you. The plan you had, gone, the future you pictured, shattered, and you're left standing there asking, God, why would you let this happen if you gave me the dream in the first place? But what I've learned is this: purpose doesn't disappear when pain shows up. In fact, pain often becomes the doorway to purpose. Sometimes what we see as an ending is really God reshaping our life to fit a purpose bigger than anything we imagined. I thought I knew exactly how my story was supposed to go. I had worked, sacrificed, prayed, and given everything to a dream. And in one moment it was gone, and I remember being angry, confused, and broken. But over time I realized God hadn't abandoned me. He was redirecting me. He didn't strip me of purpose. He shifted me into the purpose I was created for. Pain didn't stop my calling. It revealed it. That's the thing about purpose. It doesn't always show up wrapped in success, applause, or victory. Sometimes it shows up in the form of loss. Sometimes it comes through tears, through closed doors, through the silence of God when you're begging for answers. See, we think purpose is only found when life is good. But sometimes purpose is hidden in the very thing that broke you. That's why you can't give up in the middle of your pain. What if God is using this season to shape something inside you that comfort never could? What if the heartbreak, the disappointment, the closed doors, what if all of that is preparation, not punishment, preparation? Because your pain might not make sense right now, but it's not pointless. God doesn't waste pain. He uses it to refine you, to teach you, to pull greatness out of you that would have stayed buried if everything went according to your plan. And I know some people look at their life and say, there's no way God could make purpose out of this. But you don't see what he sees. You see the broken pieces. He sees the masterpiece he's building with them. You see your weakness. He sees your potential. You see what you lost. He sees what he's about to give you. And sometimes the very thing you thought disqualified you is what God uses to qualify you to help somebody else. Because there are people out there who don't need your perfection. They need your scars. They need to know that someone survived what they're going through right now. Purpose isn't about everything being perfect. It's about being willing to let God use every part of your story, the wins and the wounds. And maybe you're in a season where you don't understand the pain you're carrying. Maybe you're tired of hearing everything happens for a reason. Because right now, the reason hurts too much. I get it. But don't walk away from the journey just because it got hard. Don't assume God is finished just because your plan fell apart. Sometimes God has to break your plans to protect his purpose for your life. So when it hurts, when it doesn't make sense, when you're tired of being strong, remember this: purpose is still alive, even here, even now, and one day you'll look back and realize the pain that almost made you quit is the very thing that made you who you are. Keep going. We spend so much time asking God to make life easier. God, take this pain away. God, remove this storm. God, make the struggle stop. But what if God is not trying to make life easier? What if he's trying to make you stronger? What if instead of taking you out of the fire, he's standing in it with you and using it to shape who you're becoming? I had to learn that faith isn't proven when everything is comfortable. Faith is proven when nothing makes sense, when you're tired, hurt, and still choose to trust that God is working even when you can't trace him. People want strength, but they don't want resistance. They want growth, but they don't want discomfort. They want faith, but they don't want to carry a cross. You can't become who God created you to be by living a life of ease. Pressure produces power, struggle reveals character, and the storm you're praying away might be the very thing God is using to build the strength you asked Him for. So instead of praying, "God, make it easier," start praying, "God, make me stronger through it." That's when everything changes, because now you're not running from the battle, you're learning in it. When I was going through some of my hardest moments, I didn't ask God to remove me from the pain. I asked Him to help me grow through it, and I realized something. Sometimes God doesn't calm the storm outside because He wants to calm the storm inside of you first. He wants to build a resilience that doesn't depend on circumstances, but on His presence. You see, if God answered every prayer with comfort, some of us would have no strength. If He opened every door we wanted, we would never learn patience. If He stopped every storm, we would never know what it feels like to stand in the middle of one and still say, "God, I trust you." And I get it. Life can be overwhelming. You're tired, you're hurting, and there are days you don't even have the words to pray. But God is not disappointed in your weakness. He's not ashamed of your tears. He's close to the brokenhearted. He hears the prayer behind the silence. Sometimes you don't need fancy words. You just need honesty. You just need to say, "God, I don't understand, but I'm still here." That right there is faith. Not the kind you post about, but the kind you live through. Some of you have been asking God to take away the weight, but maybe God gave you strong shoulders for a reason. Maybe the thing that feels like it's breaking you is actually building something inside of you that comfort never could. You're asking for escape, but God is offering endurance. You're begging for relief, but God is building resilience. And I promise you, what He builds in you will last far longer than what you're going through. So stop thinking the presence of struggle means the absence of God. Sometimes His greatest work is done in silence. Sometimes His power is revealed not by removing the mountain, but by giving you the strength to climb it. And I know you're tired. You didn't ask for this fight. But don't let the pain make you bitter. Let it make you better. Don't let the storm push you away from God. Let it push you closer. Because at the end of the day, it's not about having an easier journey. It's about having a stronger spirit, not about praying for lighter burdens, but for stronger backs, not about asking God to change the situation, but asking Him to change us in the situation. Keep going. We think sometimes that in order for God to use us, we've got to have it all figured out. We think we need to be perfect, strong, unshaken, but that's not what God is looking for. He's not searching for flawless people. He's searching for faithful people. People who, even when they're tired, even when they're hurting, even when life doesn't make sense, still choose to show up. Not because they're the strongest, but because they refuse to quit. You don't have to have every answer. You don't have to feel okay, you just have to keep going. Consistency in the dark is what leads to breakthrough in the light. There were days in my life when I didn't feel like moving forward, days when the pain was too heavy and the silence was too loud. But I kept waking up, I kept showing up, not because I felt strong, but because I believed that God wasn't done yet. Sometimes the greatest act of faith is just deciding not to stay down. You might not run today, but if you can stand, stand. If you can't stand, crawl. If you can't crawl, just breathe. Because progress is still progress, even when it's small. And the beautiful thing about God is, He doesn't measure your worth by your pace. He looks at your heart, your fight, your refusal to let go. There are people who think that as long as they make mistakes, God can't use them. But some of the most powerful stories come from people who were broken but brave, not perfect but persistent. You don't need a polished life to be purposeful. What moves God isn't perfection, it's persistence. It's when you say, "God, I don't feel strong, but I'm still here." That's what faith looks like. It's messy, it's raw, it's real, and it's enough. You see, some of you are so focused on how far you still have to go that you don't realize how far you've already come. You survived nights you thought would break you. You made it through seasons you prayed would end. You've carried weights others didn't even know you were holding. That is strength. That is endurance. And even if nobody else claps for you, heaven saw every step. Heaven saw you wipe tears and still go to work. Heaven saw you pray when you could barely speak. Heaven saw you hold your family together when you were falling apart on the inside. Don't you ever think God overlooked that. You don't earn blessing by being perfect. You receive it by being faithful. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep doing what's right even when no one sees. Keep trusting even when you don't understand, because breakthrough doesn't happen when life gets easier. It happens when your spirit grows stronger. And that happens one decision at a time, one moment of courage, one act of obedience, one prayer whispered through tears. So I'm telling you, don't quit. Don't let exhaustion convince you that your story is over. You might be tired, but you're still chosen. You might be hurting, but you still have purpose. You might be confused, but you're still being guided. And if all you can do today is show up, then show up. Because God can work with that. He can work with broken. He can work with tired, but he can't work with quit. Keep going.